So just waiting one more minute so that I can see if someone wants to join live. So if you are my patron, you have the chance to come and join me because I'm live streaming from Zoom. And as a patron, you get to participate with me real time and write on the chat. And I read everything that you write. Of course, that requires feedback. If you don't want any feedback, that's also okay. And if you are on YouTube, thank you for being here. You can also write in the comments, and I know everybody would love to hear what you have to say. So one more minute, and then we start. So for you who are really already here waiting, I just wanted to say that so these are Burly Talks. So pretty much what they are about is something short and sweet to start your week really well or finish your week really well. It depends on how you see it. I had this discussion before, but like Sunday for me is the first day of the week. But it's cultural. In some cultures, Sunday is the last day of the week, you know. But then the idea is that Sunday, usually relax and then you recharge for the next week. You prepare, you get organized. And here's your chance to talk about my cat's pet. That's very impolite. But here's your chance to get a piece, of like self-improvement, self-love, which we love. And of course, my hints on like how burlesque can definitely help you on this kind of path. So I think we are ready to go. So let's move on. So for you who are here on Zoom, please make sure you're always muted and then use the chat so I can see what your reactions are. And if you'd like to speak, just raise your hand. However, if you don't want to show on video, make sure that your camera is off. I can still hear you. Then how do these calls work? So basically, we go with the flow, but if we go on a tangent, that's also okay. But pretty much I'll give you a topic. I'll do a little review of the topic from last week. And then I'll give you a topic for the day, give you my examples, and then give you a journal prompt. So for the ones of you who like journaling, that's also, a prompt for you. Then if you are my patron, you also get these slides on Patreon. Then first, let's review last week. So last week was about gratitude. So I have a morning practice, which is mostly 3 steps. And it's pretty much recording to a friend of mine. And I talk about 3 things. So my first thing is gratitude. I can't express enough how gratitude is helpful because it helps you realize how much you have. And the more grateful you are for what you have, the happier you're going to be. That's simple. If you focus, remember your energy goes where your focus is. So if you focus on the things that you don't have or the things you are not, or the things that you want but are still far from you, that's a very easy way to make yourself really sad, right? But if you focus on the things you have, the things that are in your reach, how beautiful the world is to you, you feel so grateful, like, wait, I have all of this. I am all of this. And that's a very short path to being really happy about your situation. And trust me, happy and positive energy just bring more happiness and positive energy. Negative energy doesn't attract positive energy, So by being positive, you're going to attract positive. So first thing I would like us to do together is to do a little round of gratitude. So what are you grateful for today? I'll give you mine, whatever you are, you can like say it aloud where you are. Or you can simply write it if you prefer. But me, I'm really grateful for the the teachers that I met yesterday. I took a course and I learned urban moves, which is, as if you know me, is totally out of my comfort zone, but I learned a lot. I'm learning about human anatomy so I can better assess and help my dance students. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm really grateful for my family. So I came home, I had dinner. How blessed is that? I'm grateful for my cats who make my life really cool. For what are they doing? Oh, they scratching their toys. Grateful for my students who understand that I'm super busy then on Saturdays, and grateful for people who are offering us opportunities to perform. For example, for the show, I got very good news yesterday. So all of this, I have all of this going on. And of course, don't forget, I'm also grateful for myself, for being open-minded, for being open about my feelings. There was this situation that I was going through, and I was open about my feelings, and it felt really good. And it kind of helped, solve a bit of the problems. So all of that. I hope your list is good too. Please share if you feel like. And today's topic is, I've been talking about it this week, is who am I? And not me, Bunny. The topic is you asking yourself this question and getting to make a list. And I really, really, really encourage you to do it and write this list, because that will help you know exactly where you are and where you want to be. So how does it work? So if you're my patron, you already know, and you also have, like a document that will help you follow the steps. But in general, basically, you go for adjectives, and remember, look for evidence. And also be both kind but real, because we're all here to improve, right? If we thought we were totally done and perfect, we wouldn't be looking for opportunities of growth. And honestly, nobody is. Everybody should be growing, That's why we're here. So I will give you a few examples of mine. So for me, it's like, I'll give you two examples. One that really is kind and one that's really real. So I am generous. I think I heard that actually from a few of you. And there's evidence. Many people are grateful for what I offer. Many people tell me amazing things about the things that I offer. And I know that I share and open the doors to my space to share things with all of you. I'm here doing that because I care so much about you and about sharing. So I do the lives, and I'm doing the Patreon, I do the chat, all of those things I do because I like sharing. So that only proves that I'm generous to myself. Then if I move on to a real thing, I'll say I'm a bit stubborn at times. So, for example, yesterday, as I said, I had a teacher teaching us urban dance, which has roots like mostly in hip hop. And if you know me, you know I don't like hip hop. So I think I could have given a better effort at doing the steps the way she was teaching us. But I was almost girling them up a little too much. And I almost always do that. So whenever I see something that's not very girly like, I like to girlify it. And maybe I could be a little more willing and open-minded about taking in things that are not necessarily mine, but giving it a bigger try, like really try. So that's one of the things that actually I decided to go for this example because it's where it comes my next hint. So these are two examples. So basically something you know you are, and be kind and be real. So please list all of your good qualities. Like, please don't go for your flaws, but then list maybe one or two flaws that you would like to maybe improve, go for it and look for evidence, be gentle with yourself. Remember, self-love is the most important part. And then my secret hint. So I actually have a book here, which is like a notebook. And there I write about the future. It can be any form you want. Actually, sometimes I write poems. And I talk about myself in the future with all the things that I want to have, even if I'm not sure about. So the reason why I mentioned the second thing is because one of my growth points for now and for this year is getting away of the simple path. So now I'm getting more or less into burlesque. So dance and burlesque and how it can work for you depending on where you are. So sometimes we really box ourselves into this thing we think we are. So many students come to me and sometimes they're like, oh yeah, but I'm actually just very male, like my movements are always really hard. I find it very difficult to play the feminine. Actually, usually it's the opposite, especially, where we live, the society we live in. Women are encouraged to play more on their masculine because it's more rational, and then people will understand. And these girls that do drama, the discussions we already had about like being feminine, have your own picture on your phone. It's like all the things that are more into the emotional part and simply allowing your natural feminine to breathe are not usually so welcomed. So it kind of requires you, that's very funny, requires you much more strength to be feminine than it does to just be on your masculine in general. And of course, in burlesque, even for guys, regardless of your gender, burlesque is a lot of playing on the feminine. So many come to me and they're like, yeah, I'm just really masculine and I just do these moves really like square and strong. And I'm like, yeah, how about trying being soft? So I write in my book, I am, for example, a great jazz dancer. So jazz is not always about being feminine, right? You also have moves that are a bit more, not as feminine, as like kind of more closed shoulders, more Bob Fosse style. And for me, that's the next step. I worked so hard to get into the pretty and sultry and feminine that sometimes I am in this box that everything I do has to look pretty and feminine. And that's not all. I want the next. I can do pretty. What else can I do? That's for me the next step. All of us are in different stages of this. So how about, what in my book I write, I'm a great jazz dancer because that's where I want to be next. Charleston, for example, I love that, and I'm improving my dance on that. I've been practicing. And Charleston is definitely not the most feminine thing to dance, but I want to get better at it. So I'm like, I'm a great Charleston dancer. That's also in my book. So I'm giving myself the list for the future and giving myself the chances to improve. So maybe it's a class that they want to take. And nowadays with technology, we are so blessed. There are so many good sources for free that you can follow online. And, if you need hints, you can always ask me. I'm doing an online school for like a 20 swing style dance. But also, like for jazz and Broadway classes, I'm also doing that. So give yourself the chances to do that. If for you, for many of you, as I know at the school, it's about following a bit more the feminine, come to class with this mindset. Try the feminine. I've seen so many of you doing like lashes, or sometimes you come with new nails, and I absolutely love it. Why not? Give yourself these chances. And you might be surprised. Sorry about my hair, I have to wash it. Then let me give you your journaling prompt. So I would love you to just write about this. So make your list. And if you still feel like writing, because that's a lot of writing, if you really get into that, revisit past evidence in the past as well. Past evidence in the past. Revisit past evidence. I'm sure that where you are right now is steps ahead of where you were before. And sometimes we forget to see that, and we forget to celebrate that. So, for example, I wasn't a dancer until 6-7 years ago. And then I was like, wait, I couldn't even walk in heels. Now my feet miss heels when I don't dance in heels, So I was like, well, I wanted to do that. I wanted to become more feminine. Now I did. Check. So gather the evidence that you can do it. Our brains love evidence. So there it is. So that's it. Thank you very much for being here. I love to hear what you have to say. And we're going to be here next Sunday too for the Burly Talk 4. I wish you a beautiful week and see you around. Bye.